We begin with Community Watch, and it appears the protracted Bimbila chieftaincy dispute is going to drag on with no end in sight as residents continue to keep hope alive for a supreme ruling to bring finality to the matter. This is because both factions have vowed not to accept the verdict of the Supreme Court if it does not inure to their favor. In the following report, GH1 News' Redwan Karim Dini-Osman tells a tale of how a once vibrant town now chokes under heavy weight of insecurity.
Bimbila is about 4.5 hours drive from the northern regional capital, Tamale. The journey certainly a long, bumpy and dusty one owing to the deplorable nature of the Eastern Corridor Road. So, we arrive in Bimbila, the town that has been the scene of many deadly clashes. One that perhaps has defied every attempt at initiating a dialogue for an amicable resolution is the chieftaincy dispute between two factions of the same gate, the Gbomayili Gate. In Bimbila, the skin is rotated between two gates, the Gbanyili and the Gbomayili Royal Gates. The Gbanyili Royal Gate was in charge until the death of the then Bimbila chief, Na Abaraka, in 1999. Since then, the misunderstanding between the Nakpana and the Dasana families from the same Gbomayili Royal Gate has left Bimbila without a chief.
In 2014, the overlord was murdered. That is my father we are talking of. In 2015, the issue about the butchers, we were attacked again. This particular incident again, we were attacked 3 times.
Those people who are fake, excuse me to say, those who claim they are chiefs, but they are fake chiefs, they are the people who are doing it because of their selfish interests. You see, the issue you people fail to understand is it's about our tradition. People trying to write new tradition, new culture for the area. And it's not only the late chief's family or the gates, but Nanumbes in general are saying that no, they won't allow their tradition or their culture to be rewritten.
2014 saw the beginning of sporadic and bloody gun battles that have so far claimed the innocent lives of over 23 people, majority of whom are women and children.
Because the community itself is sharply divided along the lines of the chieftaincy altercation, they all seem to be providing names of their perceived enemies. And so if care is not taken, you go about chasing after people who they think that they are enemies, not people who are deeply involved in the shooting.
District Police Commander DSP Benjamin Ania laments Bimbila is now a pale shadow of its former self as many continue to flee the town.
You can even take note of this route that you travel from Tamale to this place, the Eastern Corridor Road. You see, it should have been completed by now, but on the 15th of July 2015, when the first shooting incident took place, the contractors had to leave the area and go and continue somewhere in Yendi. And so this stretch of the route was left just like that. We don't know when they are coming back. Quite apart from that, people sometimes close their shops, schools are closed, teaching and learning is hampered, and it affects the candidates who are going to write the exams, because they're going to write these exams with candidates who are also learning hard elsewhere in the country where there are no problems.
Bimbila remains one of the major food baskets of Ghana, but recent happenings which prompted the review of a curfew imposed on the town have adversely affected the community.
First, menu aduane menu 10 bowls and 15 bowls. They said I don't come menu na me dey beans baako. And also nyina curfew.
It has affected us economically and in all spheres of our life, because it was a situation where people could sit, do their trading up to about 12 in the night. But this time around, it's just by at least by 5 o'clock, you should be preparing to leave.
It will be recalled that after the recent clashes that occurred in February this year, Minister for the Interior, Ambrose Derry, at a news conference, blamed the incident on the Bimbila regent, who was said to have defied an order not to go ahead with a planned enskinment.
DISEC met the regent of Bimbila on Wednesday, 8th February, to advise against the intended enskinment. The regent of Bimbila's response was he was going to go ahead in spite of their caution.
But the regent denies this, insisting that the move was in consultation with the District Security Council.
No, it's not true. It's not true. We didn't defy DISEC. DISEC, if you're somebody with foresight, somebody that has that has a critical thought about the whole thing, it's a deliberate thing. It's not about the enskinment. Whatever be the case, we would have been attacked.
Even though some experts believe a Supreme Court ruling is likely to bring closure to the protracted dispute, the posturing of both factions proves otherwise.
The disagreement people have about the earlier rulings is that they didn't rule in line with our tradition. And the people are still saying, even Supreme Court, if it comes out with the ruling, it's not in line with our tradition, they're not going to take that ruling. That is what they are saying. So it's about culture. And we will not sit down. People will go and do their nocturnal activities to change our culture. We must preserve the culture and ensure that we pass the culture that was passed to us, leave it the same way it was, then we'll pass it on to the upcoming generation.
Our senior most brother is Nairi, and the Nairi serves as the Supreme Court. The Nairi ruled for us. I don't think any other person in Mole Dabon has more wisdom than the Nairi.
I know you have been successful with all the rulings, but I just want to understand, would you accept the verdict of the Supreme Court, let's say, for instance, if it doesn't go in your favor?
I don't know which other wisdom that would overturn it. There is no common sense.
Is that supposed to mean you wouldn't accept the Supreme Court verdict?
It's supposed to mean the Supreme Court would have to use their common sense as well.
What is that supposed to mean? I honestly don't understand.
It means it's an institution of chiefs, and chiefs have passed the judgment. So I'm confident that they have that wisdom to also pass the judgment per the wise reasoning of the chiefs.
It is 20 minutes to the start of the curfew. Everyone is rushing home. All businesses have closed. Only goats loiter the streets. A combined team of military and police personnel take charge with night patrols. So this is the price that residents of Bimbila would have to pay for the clashes that have been recorded over the years. Now the 6 to 6 curfew has just started, and as you can see right behind me, a combined team of military and police personnel really enforcing the curfew, and the whole place is quiet. A short while ago, the market and other centers were bustling with activity, but immediately the curfew started, every place is quiet, and the police and military personnel are in action enforcing the curfew. Every now and then, the security personnel remind the town of its presence. They remain unwavering in keeping Bimbila safe at all costs.
Hey, hurry up!
It's been very successful. We've been doing it just like that. Every day we have to come out in our numbers like this and then take over the streets to make sure that everybody obeys the rules of the curfew.
When night falls, Bimbila can be likened to an elusive beauty, calm yet volatile. Redwan Karim Dini-Osman, GH1 News, Bimbila, Northern Region.